evening. This is the Vsb TV 11 News for Wednesday, May 28th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story, waiving the death certificate of a senior who died in a rest home from malnutrition, Shadow Minister for Seniors, Derek Burgess, called today for an independent body to be set up to monitor the conditions that exist in the island's rest homes and nursing homes.
The Bermuda Progressive Labour Party remains concerned about the elders in our community that resides in rest homes. We believe that the standard of care in some of our rest nursing homes should be reviewed by an independent body, and at the same time, the Residential Care Homes and Nursing Homes Act 2001 should be a requirement that is closely monitored by government. Presently, there are not enough rest and nursing homes of an acceptable standard. As the population of seniors grows, the number of seniors requiring nursing care also grows. The PLP believes that at least 3 more nursing care facilities of the high caliber and capacity as the Sylvia Richardson Care Facility is required for our aging population. It is apparent that the government has no plans to construct further facilities. Neither are there plans to appoint qualified staff to deal with patients with Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Even for those seniors fortunate in being able to live independently, there are no plans to build further seniors residence such as the Dr. Ken Park in Southampton. Finding a place in a good nursing home for a loved one is a process complicated by the creation of procedures that are lengthy and inefficient. A number of small residential and nursing care homes of varying standards exist on the island. Some of these homes are in breach of the Residential Care Homes and Nursing Homes Act and probably need to be closed. The National Office for Seniors and Physically Challenged need to address this matter as soon as possible. Additionally, there is a pressing need for an anonymous abuse telephone hotline for seniors both in the community and in nursing homes. There are no standards for extra charges or regulations concerning what nursing homes are required to supply. One nursing home asks families for an extra $200 a month for items like ice cream outings and podiatry. I believe that Bermuda needs a charter of rights for the elderly, especially the elderly in need of care, and we in the PLP will introduce such a charter.
As June and the official opening of hurricane season approaches, the last week in May is Hurricane Awareness Week. Premier and National Security Minister Michael Dunkley and Bermuda Weather Service Director Kimberly Zuhl are urging the public not to be blasé and make ample preparations for any storm-related eventuality.
I think we all appreciate that Bermuda has been spared the worst of several named storms over the past few years. However, we must continue to hope for the best, but always prepare for the worst. And so during this week and throughout the June to November hurricane season, I wish to encourage everyone to take all the familiar steps to prepare for the hurricane season. And I cannot stress it enough. Do not wait until the last minute to check your supply of batteries, fuel up your car or your bike, and even a generator if you have one. Make sure that all your property is secured. Check, of course, that your insurance is up to date and that any trees are properly trimmed and safely away from the power lines. For any boat owners, make sure your boat is secure well in advance of any approaching storm. And lastly, let us not forget our pets. Animals need to also be safe and secure. These are just some of the precautions that should be taken in preparing for the storm season as it approaches. Last week, the Emergency Measures Organization met, and I'm pleased to confirm that all government agencies, as well as our private sector partners, are well prepared and in a state of readiness for anything that this season might bring.
The next level of preparedness is taking the responsibility to apply the information to your property and lifestyle. It is very important because a perfect weather forecast and great information from the EMO means nothing if you do not apply that information to your own preparedness. So make it personal.
And let me emphasize a very critical point in this era of rapid communication and modern technology. In the time preceding a storm and in the aftermath, the EMO, through its spokesperson, is the only official source of information relating to the storm.
The second day of giving away brand new children's clothing worth $40,000 was accomplished today by the Coalition for the Protection of Children at its Mount Hill headquarters. And afterwards, Vsb News' Julia Smatt asked the donor, Dawn Zool of the Daisy and Mac retail store, what had motivated her generosity.
We had surplus of clothing, shoes, arts and crafts, and different product that just don't fit into the new concept.
What made you pick the coalition?
I've always supported what the coalition has done for the community. My personal interests have always been in taking care of the children in our community and the elderly in our community. I've always felt, and I think a number of people know me, I feel it's as simple as if a society is taking care of its children and taking care of its elderly, everybody else in the middle will be okay. And my focus is very much in line with Sheila's, and that's why I've supported the coalition.
When Profiles of Bermuda reported in their survey yesterday that voters favored the OBA over the PLP when it comes to handling the economy, much of the survey factored on the race of those polled. He was asked, is it really necessary to use race as a measuring device in this and other polls?
We analyze, and the Department of Statistics analyze surveys by race, but normally by 4 variables, by race, income, gender, and age. And we report on those which are significant. In Bermuda, there are wide differences based on race, and so you want to know that. So, for instance, in this survey, you'll see that whites predominantly feel that the OBA can handle the economy better, whereas blacks feel that the PLP can handle the economy better.
But that's not exactly a news flash. I mean, most people know that.
It's not, but you still dissect it when there are significant differences, and that's what you're reporting on when you're doing these things. What are significant? I didn't report on gender because there were no significant differences by gender.
So what's next? What's next to come up about the way the economy is being handled?
Well, the next released probably next week will be on about the SAGE report and how the economy has changed or hasn't changed over the last year.
And it's too early for you to say, well, that will tell us.
It's too early to say right now. You'll have to wait till you get the release.
I can tell you now.
The Dollar Depots are your one-stop shop for your party and entertaining essentials. Bags, balloons, bows, decorations and invitations for all themes and occasions. Party favors, gifts and toys, piñatas, games and candy for any celebration. Fun and colorful accessories and supplies to create and cater the perfect party or family and friends gathering. Let Dollar Depot make your entertaining easy and your party pop. Visit Monday through Saturday in Hamilton, Heron Bay, Shelley Bay, and Somerset. Dollar Depot, where you buy value for less.
Are you looking for a professional and reliable agency that does residential cleaning, office cleaning, or to care for your elderly or disabled loved one? If yes, our agency can help. At Bermuda At Home Services, our professional and courteous staff can assist you with all of these services. Email bahs@northrock.bm or call us at 541-2247 between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. Mondays through Saturdays for a free estimate. Bermuda At Home Services, your home care under one roof.
What does kindness look like in Bermuda? Sally has gone to school again today without breakfast. Lorraine has to make the choice between medication and paying her electric bill. And Ian, he's a parent overwhelmed and on the verge of letting his family down. So, what does kindness look like? Like this, Neighbors Helping Neighbors, offering a hand up to people with short-term financial challenges. People like Sally, Lorraine, and Ian, all helped by 3 local organizations: the Coalition for the Protection of Children, the Family Center, and Age Concern. So stop and think about what kindness means to you, and donate to each charity online or in person at Belco headquarters. Neighbors Helping Neighbors, fostering the spirit of giving in Bermuda. Promotional consideration sponsored by Belco.
If you've been the victim of an uninsured or hit-and-run driver, your medical and other expenses may not be covered by your insurance. The good news is, there is coverage. The Motor Insurers Fund can provide you with compensation to help you through the crisis, whether suffering from physical injury, loss of wages, or extra expense incurred as a result of your injuries. For further information about the Motor Insurers Fund, visit mif.bm or call 505-8555. The Motor Insurers Fund, assurance after the unexpected.
Hi, I'm Robert Pierce at the Vasco da Gama Club. Please join me as I host a panel discussion on the Portuguese in Bermuda on Vsb Channel 11.
Wednesday, June the 4th and Friday, June the 6th at 9 p.m. and Sunday, June the 8th at 8 p.m.
See you then.
The group called Inspire eBusiness will host its first eBusiness Expo for business startup entrepreneurs on Thursday at the Hamilton Princess starting at 6 p.m. The group was launched last February with the object of supporting and encouraging the development of local e-commerce business in Bermuda. Its focus is on educating existing and potential entrepreneurs about how to start an online business. And the Expo on Thursday evening is a culmination of all the workshops and will allow service providers and government bodies to meet and network in one location with would-be entrepreneurs. The Expo is free, and you can register through www.inspireebusiness.bm. Minister of Economic Development, Dr. Grant Gibbons, said that an indicator of an economy's strength is its ability to encourage innovation, and the Expo was one way to support creativity in the marketplace. Organizer Jamila Lodge explained to Vsb News' Brian Darby what a potential entrepreneur will find when he or she walks through the door at the Hamilton Princess.
We basically have everything that you need to get your business started. I mean, essentially, the things that you would need to get a regular business, not an online business started, are similar. But we are focusing on e-businesses at this expo. So the idea was to have a one-stop shop to allow existing entrepreneur or someone interested in starting a business to be able to go around, ask the questions that they need of each service provider to get all the information that they need at the end of the day to get their business started.
And government?
Yes, government will be in the house representing, making sure that they are there, because as we know, we have to handle those benefits as well. It's not just about going out and getting a business started. You also have to meet your government obligations. So they will be representing. In addition to the expo, we also are going to have a series of workshops, 45-minute workshops, which takes it a little bit further. So you get more of an intimate environment where you can ask questions specific to your business and what's required specifically for what you need to set up your business.
It's free?
It is free.
And it's the first of an annual?
It is first. And I'm hoping that it becomes an annual one because we want to see more online businesses in Bermuda. There are some that exist, and we want to encourage that because for us in Bermuda, because it's so small, we have only a certain number of people of which to market and sell our products or services to. When you include an online component, you then get the chance to get a global product. You get the chance to get your business out there and make it a global connection.
Now, here's a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Here are the daily markets presented by Bias. U.S. and European bond markets rallied, pushing yields lower, while U.S. stocks fell before a report that may show a contraction in the world's largest economy. U.S. stocks fell after a four-day rally lifted the S&P 500 to a record high before a report by the Commerce Department tomorrow, which is projected to show that the economy contracted 0.5% in the first quarter. Bermuda-related stocks had mixed performance today. Bank of N.T. Butterfield dropped 0.50% to $1.99, with 17,312 shares trading hands. Ascendant Group was unchanged on the day. 1,800 shares were traded. Most European indices advanced on the day. The Milan IB rose 0.85% to 21,586. The German DAX was little changed on the day, closing at 4,532,
a 0.02% decrease from yesterday's close. Pacific Rim indices rose as China reported industrial profits and U.S. data added to signs a recovery in the world's largest economy is intact. The Hang Seng Index climbed 0.59% to 23,080. Latin American indices were mixed on the day. The Vsb rose from a 4-week low, with banks rallying after Brazil's court delayed a ruling that could cost lenders as much as $153 billion. Treasury yields dropped as European debt markets rally. U.S. government securities remained higher as the Treasury sold $35 billion of 5-year notes to stronger than average demand. The U.S. 10-year yield declined 7 basis points to 2.44%. The euro fell against the dollar as German unemployment increased unexpectedly this month, and euro area lending contracted, boosting the case for more European central bank stimulus. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. There's more news after the break.
Save $1.30 on Purdue Fresh Chicken Leg Quarters, just $1.59 per pound. Your choice, California nectarines or peaches, $2.99 per pound. A quick meal in minutes, Catelli spaghetti, only $1.39 for a 500-gram box. $3.49 for a 12.5-ounce box of Multimeal Apple Zings or Tutti Frutti cereal. Mott's Mini Fruit Punch or Apple Juice, just $2.09 for a 4-pack. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
Now at Big Savings Zone, there's the Kids Zone. See the latest bedroom ideas for tots to teens. There's a large selection of beds, bedding, all kind of furniture designed especially in mind for your child. And see the array of accessories for all ages. Big Savings Zone is the home of Ashley Furniture and Serta Mattresses in Bermuda. And the Kids Zone is only at Big Savings Zone, at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
I just downloaded the Layer app for the Bermuda Sun, and it is so cool. You can find so many new videos, and you can watch sports and news and pictures and everything. You have to download it. It's really neat. All you have to do is put your phone over the image, and the image comes to life. You have a full video of everything. It's really, really neat.
Yes, I just downloaded the Layer, and it works pretty good.
I think it's great.
I've never seen anything like it. It was unbelievable.
Yes, I tried the app this morning, and I think it's great.
Receiver of wrecks, Philippe Rouget, has just surfaced from a series of dawn dives with a video camera to record the health of the reefs that surround the historic wrecks located off Bermuda and the size of the fish stocks in protected areas. He says he was amazed and delighted with the positive shots he obtained.
What we're seeing in particular are the princess parrotfish, the striped parrotfish, and the stoplight parrotfish. And that's what I think is what we added in the last 2 years to the story. I think there was a knowledge that the striped parrotfish were coming in and doing this activity there. But what wasn't known was that the stoplight parrotfish were also joining it, and the yellowtail parrotfish. And so now it seems like this area has, which has a particular name at this stage, which I won't say on television because I'll get bleeped. But what we're seeing is that in this particular area we have a multitude of fish species coming together, of parrotfish species, and that's really good news because the parrotfish are, in one way they're an integral part of that whole reef system. And so, what we have our specialists talking about coral and our specialists, I deal with the shipwrecks. When we see it all together and you see these fish, the parrotfish kind of do indicate that the health of the ecosystem is sort of is going to sort of hopefully maintain itself. I mean, the parrotfish clean the reef in a sense. They take that algae off of the reef, and in doing that they sort of add that control element. And I think in areas where the parrotfish have declined, and sometimes declined very rapidly due to overfishing and other things, the reef then gets sort of quite challenged by the growth of algae. And actually one of the notable things that we noticed reviewing the footage later, because at the time you're taking the film, was that in between the beautiful coral coverage we have, those hard corals are really abundant and really rich, but between them where you have the rocky surfaces, they're actually very white. And so I don't know if you'll see that in the video, but in those white areas, it's clear that these fish are really cleaning it. And it just speaks to the general sort of balance of the ecosystem, and it speaks to those really wise decisions that decisions makers made, you know, since the 1970s in terms of, hey, let's catch ourselves a bit and sort of put some limits on what we do, and you know, protecting the parrotfish. And I think the Fisheries Act in 1976 did that, and the banning of fish pots also contributed to their not being, you know, targeted at all.
We've done some good things, haven't we?
Well, we've done some great things, and I think that's one of the ones, you know, that was celebrated at one of the conferences in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian. One of the very particular things they said was Bermuda, ahead of everybody else, said, hey, we're going to do this, and actually these aggregations actually play truth to that.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me. Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is me.
Bermuda is all of us. Happy Heritage Month from Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
People and Places with Charles Webb. Mondays in the Vsb TV 11 Evening News at 7:30, 8:30 and midnight. Sponsored by Big Saving Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Now, here's Earl Baisden with the Sports Report.
It was celebration time in the Turks and Caicos last evening as the Bermuda women's national football team advanced to the Women's Caribbean Cup finals in Trinidad after defeating St. Kitts and Nevis 3-1. Bermuda got goals from Akila Ferbert, Shante Todd and Dominique Richardson on their way to winning the group and advancing. The Minister of Sports, Wayne Scott, was excited that the women have done Bermuda proud.
Bermuda's women's football is doing great, and now, you know, to the next round is where you have all the big boys, or girls, if you will, in this case. But I think it bodes well for what we're doing in Bermuda. I think that you know, we are being recognized in the Caribbean for our sports, which is a good thing. Of course, if people see you doing well, then they start coming for you a bit harder. So the further you get, the more intense it becomes. But you know, hats off to the women's football. They're doing great.
The 2014 Bermuda Cricket Board League season kicks into high gear with big wins recorded in both the Premier and First Divisions. Today we give you a look at the top batting and bowling performers. Dano Otterbridge from Western Stars was the top scorer of the weekend, scoring 104 not out against Warwick Workmen's Club in their First Division match at St. John's Field. Alex Dorr scored 93 runs for Southampton Rangers in their Premier Division match against St. George's Cricket Club, while his teammate Shannon Rayner scored 85 not out in the same match. In the bowling department, with figures of 6 overs, 7 for 13 that included 1 maiden, Donnie Charles from Somerset Bridge led the charge against the Bermuda Under-17 national team at St. John's Field. Brian Hall had the second best figures of 4 for 6 after 5 overs and 2 maidens for Western Stars against Warwick Workmen's Club and Southampton Rangers. Kevin Tucker returned the third best figures of the weekend against St. George's Cricket Club with figures of 7.2 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 16. Micah Franklin recently competed at the Angers France Squash Open. He was ranked 7th and would go down in his first round match 3-0 to Mark Fuller from England. Franklin went down 11-5, 11-8, 11-7. Gillian Teixeira concluded competing in the Magna Racing International Spring Tour jumping event in Austria. Teixeira and Tamarino finished 52nd in the final Go Tour 1.45 meter class. The pair recorded a time of 76.46 and they had 9 penalty fault points. Competing in the final B Silver Tour 1.30 meter class, Teixeira and Lacvals finished 3rd with a clear round time of 61.84. Taylor Ashley Bean represented Virginia State University women's outdoor track and field team at the 2014 NCAA Championships, where she finished 16th in the 800 meters with a time of 2:11.12. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for VSB Sports.
That should do it. Enjoy your new shower.
Experience the bold look of Kohler at a Kohler registered showroom.
This is James Dodson, Deputy Director of the Bermuda Weather Service with a Hurricane Awareness Update. Hurricane season runs from the 1st of June right through the end of November. Will you be ready? Have a hurricane preparedness plan in place before the hurricane season begins for your family and for your business. Don't be caught out. During the onset of a tropical system, be sure to finish preparations well in advance of the onset of hazardous conditions. Rain bands with severe weather can approach in advance of the onset of higher winds. Monitor the latest tropical advisories and local forecasts before, during and after the storm on www.weather.bm. Tropical update bulletins are issued every 6 hours on all tropical systems in the Atlantic and Caribbean, and then every 3 hours once local watches and warnings are issued. This tip has been brought to you by Bermuda Weather Service, Bermuda's official source of weather watches, warnings, forecasts and observations, courtesy of BAS Serco Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's VSB weather forecast. Don't forget, this week is Hurricane Awareness Week. Please check out weather.bm for more information and look out for the specials during the news. Our weather shot is brought to us by VJ Talbot, taking this sunrise in Pembroke. Another beautiful sunrise. See sort of layers of gold and blue, sort of wispy clouds, but it was another beautiful day, and thank you, VJ, for sending in this wonderful shot. Temperatures for today, we had a high of 77 at 2 in the afternoon and a low of 68 at 4 in the morning. Current conditions, 72 degrees, humidity 65%, wind southwest 12 to 18 knots, and barometric pressure is falling at 30.08 inches. Rainfall index for the month of May, 2.34 for a yearly total of 23.37. The yearly normal for this time, 21.26 inches. And taking a look at the satellite, a ridge moves south tonight as a weak cold front to the north gradually draws near. Winds increase tonight and a few showers arrive later on Thursday as the front stalls over the area. Showers and winds increase for a time Saturday morning into the afternoon as the front passes. Winds then remain mainly moderate with a few showers through Sunday. And if you're traveling, Atlanta, mostly cloudy, 85. Boston, mostly sunny, 62. Charlotte, thunderstorms likely, 87. London, mostly cloudy, 64. Miami, 85, mostly cloudy. New York, 66, mostly cloudy. Orlando, 89 and thunderstorms. Philadelphia, cloudy and 65. Toronto, partly cloudy and 63. And Washington, rain likely and 65 degrees. And back at home tonight, mostly cloudy with a low near 69. Winds southwest, 12 to 18 knots, and then veering west-southwest overnight. And tomorrow, sunny periods, a few light rain showers mainly overnight with a high of 77. Winds west-southwest 12 to 18 knots, and then veering westerly 10 to 15 knots, and then decreasing to 8 to 12 knots late night. Marine tonight, no warnings. Seas inside the reef 1 to 2 feet. Seas outside the reef 3 to 5 feet, and the sea surface temperature is 76 degrees. Marine tomorrow, seas inside the reef 1 to 2 feet. Seas outside the reef 4 to 6 feet. High tide will be at 9:39 in the morning, and low tide will be at 3:28 in the afternoon. And looking at the 5-day forecast. Friday, sunny breaks, 1 or 2 showers through the day and overnight, high near 78. Saturday, sunny periods, a few showers into the afternoon, 1 or 2 later, high near 77 and breezy. Sunday, mix of sun and cloud, 1 or 2 early showers, breezy with a high near 76. And Sunday, sunny breaks, breezy, a few passing showers with a high near 75. Thank you to meteorologist tonight, Michelle Pitcher, and everyone at the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Rachel Sodden. Have a great evening.
Thanks for tuning in to the TV11 News. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited. Wardrobe and makeup for Rachel Sodden, provided by Gibbons Company.
VSB TV 11, Bermuda.